Welcome back to the Diagon Podcast, a podcast where we make up fictional Eastern European countries, because we can't be bothered to research real ones. Where last we left our hero, he had just gone to bed.
And this as well.
Yes. I have a name, but you're not hearing it this episode. No. I'm your Game Master, Josiah. And I do intros in different orders if I want to.
This is literally the first time.
It's like Memento. You're not getting the story in a linear order anymore. All right, so you had recruited, along with your other partner for this, Ortega, you've also recruited Koval and Jurgis to go with you on this, mostly because you want to check out that foliage and see if there's anything off about it. So,
Yeah, we have its exact location too on our maps, so we can go back to it without any issue.
Ortega's gonna grab small hatchet to take as well.
Yeah, because Ortega was there with me, right?
Yeah.
Let's start heading over to it. The thing that we noticed about it was a very odd shade of green, like a bright green, right?
Yeah, almost kind of like bad AstroTurf.
Right. So we start heading over there. Does my character bring anything specific because of this? Would it make sense for him to have some kind of knife to also, a machete as well?
If you want one.
Yeah, I think I would grab one as well, since he saw it also.
All right. Jurgis has a bag of things you are not sure what is, which is very Jurgis of him.
In a past life, he was involved in weed killing, and that's what's in there.
In a past life, he was a JRPG protagonist, and he has to keep his key items on him.
He never used the rare ones. He just stockpiled them.
Yeah, listen, I can't use my high potions. I might not have them later.
I can't use this Master Ball until never.
Yeah, just because this is the last time I could use it doesn't mean I might not need it later.
Yeah, you never know.
You guys head out towards the marker you put on your GPS. Within, I'd say, about an hour of walking, you stop short because you're already noticing more of that foliage.
Wow. So how much more distance would have been?
So you would say this is about 30 minutes off of where you would expect based on GPS.
Wow.
So it's a lot. It's like a couple miles probably at the rate you walk.
Refresh my memory. When we first saw this, how many Walmarts is it?
Enough. a shocking amount of Walmarts.
Okay. When we first saw it, could we tell how big it was? Because I'm trying to remember. I don't remember it being like a small thing that was obviously different.
You came up to the area, and then you could see it extending out, and then you guys just hooked a right and started sweeping the other way.
Okay, so we really don't know how big this was, but it's definitely bigger by a lot.
By a lot. You've never heard of a plant growing this quickly, or anything really. So Koval you guys stop, and Ortega points to it. Koval's looking at it. I've never seen anything like this anywhere in Tarnovska.
And then I say, we're still 30 minutes away from where we geotag. This is spread.
Ortega takes his hatchet, and he's going to cut off some of the crawling vine that's got. He's sticking that in a little case. Jurgis has pulled out a bunch of weird shit. He's poking with a syringe. He's sprinkling salt on some of it.
Does he have a lighter to try to see if a piece of it will catch fire?
Yeah, he has a lighter. And then he also doing, like, I don't know what you call it, but like side-to-side sweeping motion with his arm. He's got a rosary and cross, and he's doing that. Make a perception check while you're seeing everyone do all this stuff.
Okay, my perception is great, so let's see what I got. Mediocre, so great.
And what are you doing? Have you taken out a knife and you're going to cut off some? Or are you just like head on a swivel?
I do want to cut off a piece of it. How thick is it? Is it stronger than I would expect?
I'd say it's about the strength you'd expect. It is juicier than you expect. It spurts chlorophyll.
Is the liquid different than what I would expect coming out of it?
No, it's just that there's a lot more of it than you've ever seen from a plant. And with your perception check, you notice that when he sprinkles the salt, and you're pretty sure he knows this as well, it burns through it. It consumes the salt, but it falls through like acid, basically.
So the salt burns through the plant and just falls straight out?
Yeah, it uses up some of the salt when that happens, but that is what happens.
Right. It's not just absorbing the liquid, it's literally just passes through the plant.
Yes, and burning it didn't seem to do anything, and neither did the cross.
Who is it that's doing this?
Jurgis. Uncle Jurgis.
I look at Jurgis and I say, hey, Uncle, have you ever seen anything quite like that?
I think this is a good time to make a luck roll. This will be your luck roll for the session.
And my luck is poor, so let's see. Okay, -2 for terrible. So that puts me. No, that's the wrong way. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Negative terrible.
Yeah, so we're just capping out on the top and bottom, so just terrible. So yes, this particular sort of thing is new to me. I can't say this was something I've worked with, which is more subdued than I think you've ever seen Jurgis. He seems disturbed by this. Ortega's got his piece, and he says, I think we should return. That's not the right voice at all, but I think we should return and report this. Whatever this is moving quickly.
Where is the mine that we're supposed to be protecting from here?
From where you are now, it's about an hour out,
Okay.
because that's where you were.
Right, right. And in less than a day, maybe its diameter has spread out to that point where who knows to say what its rate of growth is.
If it maintains its current pace, it would reach the camp in 2 more days.
2 days. Okay. It might speed up for all we know. Like, we don't know.
Might speed up, might stop, who knows. Koval is shifting around. She does not like this. This is not the Tarnovska she grew up in.
Is there any locals that you know of in town that might be able to help us with this?
Looking at it, she's maybe a priest. This is not right.
Okay, we have a sample of it, right?
Yeah, so you've got a sample. You've got 2 samples because you also took a sample. Jurgis might have taken a sample. Who knows?
Okay.
Koval is not touching it. She does not like it. She does not trust it.
Okay, let's start heading back then and see if maybe we talk with the priest. Perhaps somebody else in the team might have an idea of what to try to do to this kind of plant. Let's just go back and brainstorm.
All right, so you head back. Jurgis asks Koval, where can a man get, say, 50-pound bags of salt? And so she starts going back and forth with him about, like, okay, so you can go to their equivalent of, like, supermarket,
Okay.
that sort of thing. And she's sort of going over the different options of where you can get that, because Jurgis has already made up his mind, which is salt the earth.
Right. I mean, it is the Roman way.
Yeah.
Okay. So I look over at them and I say, if salt isn't the solution, what else do you think might be a good idea?
Well, fire didn't seem to be particularly effective, but it wouldn't hurt to get some extra gasoline on hand. Let's see, what else would come to mind here? Aside from that, we could see how it does traversing metal. Everything it seems to be going across so far is organic in some way.
Right. Does it rain often out here, or is it fairly, I don't know, not dry, but not
It's fairly wet.
fairly wet? Okay.
You're on the right side of a mountain for extra humidity.
Okay. Do we know of any storms coming anytime soon?
Let's see. You would have checked, obviously, because you're going out. You weren't expecting anything today, but you do know there's probably going to be a thunderstorm the next 2 days. And if that does happen, you probably won't be going out doing any surveying if you're sticking to the plan.
Right. I'm going to basically just say, I think whatever this is, we will want to see if we figure something out before then, because that's just way more moisture than what we're currently seeing in its growth rate.
So everyone's more or less on the same page of we don't want whatever this is advancing anymore towards us.
Right.
You guys make it back to camp. Everyone's pretty surprised to see you. Volkov and Quinn have been setting up some surveillance around the camp, wiring up some cameras, that sort of thing. But McKinley comes over. What's come up?
So I say, John, take a look at this. And we show him the samples of this plant.
I assume you dropped another pin basically on so you can show the difference on the GPS of like it's moved this far in a day.
Right. We show him its growth rate, its assumed growth rate. We show him that it's holding way more moisture than normal. Our local is kind of spooked by it. Like, this is not normal. And
You show him the salt trick.
we show him the salt trick. We try to light it on fire, show that clearly it's just too saturated with water to affect it, is my assumption. I think we need to figure out whatever this is. It just seems really odd, especially since this isn't a normal thing and it seems to be growing quite a bit. We're thinking perhaps in 2 days, if nothing accelerates it, it'll be here.
All right, Benjamin, you're with me. We're going to go in and talk to the mayor, see if they know anything about this. Ortega, Koval, Jurgis, you're going to be going and getting salt. We're stocking up.
Can Jurgis try to get a hold of the priest?
He may,
So we'll see if that comes up.
but you're with McKinley. So you guys just take one vehicle since there's no reason to take 2 for this. And you head back into town. As you're going, would you ride in the front with McKinley?
Is McKinley driving?
Yeah, he's driving.
Yeah, I mean, since John and I are actually friends, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Make a perception check as you're going then.
Okay, my perception is great. Another mediocre, so great.
As you're going by, you can start to see along the side of the road that just a little past the tree line, you can see that same overly vibrant greenery.
So I say, John, stop really quick and look over there. See it? And I point it out.
He pulls over and looks. He sort of narrows his eyes. He says, let's get out. I want to take a look at this for myself while we're here then.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
You're approaching, see, and you roll terrible luck.
Yeah.
So you're approaching, and then you just hear, let's get a reasoning roll to see if you already know what this is, because I'll describe it after you do your roll.
Reasoning is fair. I rolled a fair, so that puts me at great.
Okay, so you hear what you can identify as a deer being wounded and trying to run. And you can also hear that it is not getting away. And as you approach, you can see just a little further in the tree line, you can see a deer like freaking out. You can't see what's happening to it from your distance, though.
Okay, I think I'll pull my gun at this point and just be ready with it and say, John, are you seeing this?
He looks and he says, yeah, I see it. Ortega, get a scope on this. Ortega shoulders his rifle and uses the scope. And 1 beat, 2 beats. Says, we need to leave. And I think everyone's trained enough that they take that and just everyone goes. There's no need to wait for, what is it? I'm going to go check it out.
Okay, so we take that seriously and we book it back to the van.
Yeah, so back on the road, says, the plant life seemed to have ensnared the deer and was actively growing around it.
So we're not dealing with some messed up Venus flytrap. We're dealing with vines that want to kill animals. Have you ever heard of that before?
No, I can't say that I have. And Volkov is tapping her gun on her leg, like not happy.
This sounds like a great book that the other guy should have written.
Yeah. Jurgis is digging through his bag, just dead silent. So McKinley is going to radio back and inform Volkov. Say, we've identified strange plant life. Don't go near it. If you see it, throw salt on it. If it's getting close to the base, ditch the base.
Okay. I look at Caval and I say, are there any legends that fit remotely what we're seeing here?
No, this is nothing like what any of the stories of the forest.
Okay, well, let's book it.
All right, you guys violate the speed limit and get to the town Borosden. So McKinley gets out at the town center, basically, and tosses the keys to Ortega, because they're supposed to go get the salt.
Right.
And you're with him, going to go talk to Mayor Iona Vacherko.
How involved is the mayor with this operation?
She's the one who brought you in. It's sponsored by the national government, but she's in charge of making everything go smoothly, basically.
Okay.
So you head in, talk to the secretary, basically, and say you need a meeting. You have to wait for a bit. You're in a waiting room, and McKinley is just, you know him well enough to be able to tell that he's anxious. You don't need an empathy roll for that. This is just something, you know him well enough that you know he's always worried that he's leading everyone into something they're not going to come back from.
Right.
And this is weird bullshit Max stuff. So he's on edge, to say the least.
Okay, so I look over at John and I say, we didn't get completely surprised by this. You know, we're going to figure this out, and we have enough time, I think, to figure something out.
He's not right. And if we don't, I'm ditching the contract. It's not worth it.
Right.
We're not paid to be Ghostbusters or whatever the hell this is.
True.
So one more time goes by. You guys get in there. Didn't mention it, but I assumed you would have guessed you had to leave your guns in the truck for obvious reasons.
Right. Do we still have our machetes?
You probably have pocket knives.
Yeah, pocket knives. Okay. No, that's fair.
So, Mr. McKinley, what brings you to my office so soon after our meeting? McKinley's, we've run into a odd problem. And he sets out the box with the sample, opens up. My team, in their surveying of the surrounding area, ran into this. He shows the GPS coordinates. This managed to grow from this point to this point in under 24 hours.
And while we were on our way here, we saw...
Yeah, and he's going through all this stuff, and it appears to be consuming or at least restricting animal life actively. Are you aware of this in any particular way? And I would like you to make a empathy check.
Okay, so my empathy is mediocre, so let's hope for a good roll. +2, so that puts me at fair.
All right, so she says, no, this is completely foreign. I can call the National Institute of Botanists and see if they can send a specialist, perhaps.
We already suspect potentially salt could be effective against it, but I mean, we already have some of our teammates going to collect salt. I don't know if there's going to be enough salt though to handle what we're dealing with.
She says, indeed. If it is growing, presumably it's growing in all directions, so approaching us as well. This is most concerning. I will place a requisition for some investigators and additional salt. I'm afraid I don't know what else to do here.
And you haven't heard anything from any other nations that are close to us?
No, this is the first I've seen of this. It seems quite shocking. I'd imagine something like this would make it to the front of every newspaper.
I think you should put this out there. The fact that animals are getting caught in it in any way, that's really concerning.
Yes, I will make an announcement to not go into the forest for the time being. This is quite concerning. There's a little more back and forth before you guys leave, and essentially you've got a promise. She's going to put out an announcement and try and get in touch with the national government to requisition some help with this, because her town has nothing to really help with this. She's also going to send some of the local police to just try and get a measurement on her end, how fast it's moving.
Right.
So you guys head out. It's about time for you guys to get lunch. So I think he's going to take you to that same diner that you were at before. Do that.
Are we letting the mayor handle communication for telling the locals about this, or are we?
Yeah, because that's pretty much her job.
Have we heard back from the group that went to get salt?
You could radio in.
So I think we will.
Okay, so you radio over. Let's see. I think Ortega would be the one to answer.
Have you guys been able to secure any salt?
We've been buying up the stock we can find here, but they aren't exactly stocked to the gills with it.
Right. That makes sense.
We might have to drive out to a larger town to get the stock we actually need.
Right. As soon as we all join up again, let's see what happens if we take the sample we took and just dip it in a bunch of salt. And we'll probably see about talking with the priest too, since you seem to think that could lead to something. About how far away are you?
That was what Koval thought, yeah. He gives you the street name, basically, and it's not too far. So you guys eat,
Okay.
go meet up with them, help them load up the containers of salt they were able to get. It's not too much, really, but something. And Jurga says, I had an idea of my own, and so I bought these. And he sets water guns on the bed of the truck. Salt water.
If that works, then this will make the salt potentially go a lot further.
Yes. And it'll let us keep more of a distance. Then he also sets out some slingshots, and this is in case it doesn't. So, either way.
Okay, let's grab the sample and see what happens when we saturate it in salt.
Are you going to try salt or salt water first? Because you have two samples to work with, so.
I want to try salt first. I figure we'll do both, but let's just do the basic salt first.
You sort of dump a bunch of salt onto the sample, and the salt just eats all of it away. And there's nothing left. Anywhere the salt touches, the plant disappears.
And then from a distance, we hear a roar. No.
My babies.
Okay, so does the amount of salt is there less of it after it
Yes.
goes through the plant?
It's not a huge amount less, but you can tell that there is less.
Okay, so that definitely seems to work, boys. Let's try the salt water and see what happens to this other sample.
Right, so putting it in salt water, it's kind of like watching if you put like a copper bar in acid in a chemistry class. It's not as fast as the plain salt is, but it's definitely like it's eating away at it. And then after an extended period of time, it is dissolved.
And is it also the same where you can tell the water level has decreased a little bit from that, the salt water level?
In this one, you can't tell because the mass hasn't changed.
Okay, that definitely seems maybe we can use the salt water from a distance, keep it from coming at us if it were to turn into that kind of situation. But it definitely seems like if we needed to be quick, then pure salt is the way to go.
All right, so McKinley says, all right, we're going to hit some other stores, see how much salt we can get, how many other things Jurgis was suggesting, basically. Gather all that up. Benjamin, I want you to go with Koval and speak to the priest, see if thing.
And there's a chance he might have his own thing of salt.
Also very possible.
Yeah, churches are known to have supplies.
And Jurgis pulls out a cloth bag and passes it to you, and you open up and you see another sample. So that way you can test whatever. So you guys split up, and that's where we'll leave it.
Hey everyone. We hope you enjoyed the third episode of Season 5 of the Die Again podcast. Benjamin and his mercenary team now have a salty weapon to fight against the mysterious plant monsters. Will Benjamin and Koval be able to get to the priest safely? Find out next time. We at the Die Again podcast love hearing your thoughts, so drop your comments wherever you're tuning in from. Also, don't forget to follow us on X, Threads, and Blue Skies. Just search for Die Again podcast, all one word. Bye!